I'll give you a quick countdown. 3, 2, 1. Now.
Yay.
So.
Indeed.
Yeah, this is Bionicle: The Legend of Maranui. This game was developed by Sapphire Development, started on it in spring of 2000. Game was cancelled October 10th, 2001. This build is from October 23rd. Was
it's a broken piece of crap. No, just kidding.
Yep. Game
I mean, the alpha was.
Yeah, the game was. This build was found
I'm
in
allowed
April
to say
of
that.
2018.
I run the project.
Yeah. This build was found in April of 2018, and after a short ARG to tease the game, it was then released publicly on May 12th. Yeah, I guess we can introduce the commentators while I am focusing here.
Well, who would like to go first, then?
Yeah, I'm one of the project managers at License Studios, and I am also the lead scripter, pretty much the only scripter.
Unfortunately. And I am Vakiti. I am also one of the heads of Lightstone, and actually the founder of the studio. I mostly run Mask of Destiny and other things these days, but we're still making progress on patches when we can.
Yeah, Varahi appeared to not be nice to me this run.
He almost got you. I saw in the pause that one shot that went in frame.
We got, thankfully we did get this. Oh, we got this boost, that's nice. Basically, when you land on the ground in a specific way, you move fast, you move at twice the speed than you're supposed to for exactly like 3 frames. And so if you land on the Suva, you're kind of landing on every frame. So that gives you a large speed boost.
That reminds me of the one glitch with Rouge. Wow, that just is like, surprise, motherfucker!
Yep, it is.
Anyway,
he was waiting.
That bug in Sonic 06, where if you hit the ground at just... I think it's like, if you're playing as Rouge and you hit the ground and jump on just the right frame, you'll skyrocket upwards.
I think that happened to me like once in the alpha. I have a clip of it and I cannot for the life of me explain it. If I can, then 80% is dead.
There.
Right. So...
I noticed you like had a bit of a slide when you came out of the door. Was that intentional?
Yeah. Basically, if you're in the air while an area transition finishes, then you kind of subvert this loss of control that you would usually have on the start of the next fade. And since fades are not counted in the in-game timer, then you kind of gain a little bit of time. And this is pause buffering. Basically, what I have to do is I have to literally move my hands from my mouse and keyboard to actually be able to do it this quickly. And this saves like 20 seconds or something.
And I think you end up skipping the entire like button section and everything too.
Yeah, and you skip 3 tokens, or 2 tokens, I think, which you have to compensate for. And the tokens, they open token doors. You can kind of think of them like star doors in Mario 64. You need a certain amount to pass through them, and unfortunately, we have not found a way to go through them yet.
By the way, fellas in chat, don't get used to that grapple glitch, because it'll be fixed on the next patch.
I mean, down patching is always a thing, especially with us caring about data preservation. And speedruns will be run on the fastest patch. Yeah,
but that has been... that bug has been a thorn in our side since the game came out, and Andre just happened to find a way around it that is still a little bit broken, but not nearly as broken.
Yep. Basically, the way this works on like a technical level, the game applies something which it internally calls external momentum. And then I found in the function which processes external momentum in the game code is that it only applies it to the player if the player is either moving downwards or not at all.
See, even I run the project. Even I don't know the details of these things.
Milkplate just says no. Don't kill funny grapple glitch. It will live on in our hearts.
Oh god,
It must die.
I forgot how crusty the lighting is in this area. Look at
Yeah.
the new Jaga. He looks
Also,
like
you
he's
can
just,
easily skip
in
this
a
by just jumping
dim,
on this
lightless
triangle.
room.
Tried to show a tiny bit more of a glitch, but couldn't. Basically, the trigger extends quite far above above where the cave is.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I do want to say that like the road that you're triggering whenever you jump into a trigger and can start walking again immediately, the sliding. Yeah, that's fixed. That's fixed and rebuilt, and I spent an exorbitant amount of time working on trying to fix that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this will also fix the what is the bug that you were going to use in level 4? I think it was
Slight spawning displacement. That is
something?
not actually fixed. There is a way to bypass it.
Okay, even after Ash like purposely made you freeze in place when you go into a trigger.
Even after, because going into a trigger and getting a setup for it that way is actually a massive fluke. So
Interesting.
I already have a more consistent way, which you will see, and the others will also see.
Oh, and don't worry, I will try to find a way to patch it. Don't worry, I will try to find a way to patch it.
Guys, see, this is exactly why I'm glad this has been fixed.
Yeah, if you've seen the leaked footage of the beta from 2010, you would know this as the infamous area. And I missed a token.
I love how stupid that was. Like, before the game came out, there was so many theories floating around. It's like, oh, nothing after this point is finished, or oh, it's a problem with like it's this, that, or the other. It was just a bad hitbox. That's all it was.
The trigger box. The trigger box for that bottom area was just too big.
Also, Liam, I love how once in one patch you said, I apologize in advance for this fix. This was not fixed very well.
Wait, did you just get launched away from the door? I looked away for a split second.
I did something, I call that an instant long jump, or ILJ, because you can also do it backwards, and backwards long jump is already taken. Basically, if you hold a different directional input than forward on one frame, and then on the next frame you start holding forward and jump, you do a long jump immediately, no matter if you have been holding because usually you'd have to hold the walk button for a little bit longer.
Right.
And
I was just
what happens with that is you kind of preserve your momentum. Yeah, you kind of preserve your momentum into the cutscene, and I forgot to reset my game. Resetting this is allowed to reset health and energy, and I did need the health right now.
Something also worth mentioning, you say BLJ is already taken, but
yeah.
You know, when the time comes that you do manage to port that Super Mario 64 library into Legend of Mana Nui, you'll be able to BLJ all the way to Mangaya.
I do plan on doing that, yes. And basically that invisible wall isn't really an invisible wall, and instead it acts like a trigger that you get stuck in because it's meant to disappear. And the projectiles from the boss, they give you knockback, so you can kind of get yourself knocked back through the wall, which is why I reset, because I needed more health.
And I believe that did crash when you tried to transition levels.
Yeah, it did crash, which is why launching from the test menu is actually allowed, because it's specifically a provision in the rules. If you crash on a level transition, you are allowed to load the next level.
Which is very, 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 very common in this game.
Yeah.
There we go. This is like another instance of preserving momentum into a state of no control.
Christ. So how long was that first level? Like, I'm not watching the actual... Well, let me just check the actual stream video.
Live split says 720, but that's game time.
Okay. Huh.
And that's plus 40 seconds compared to PB. But,
oh god, yeah, the particles.
Yeah, so don't die from the bubbles.
Yeah, so one thing that I found out what happens is touching a pickup like that doesn't go away. The bubbles are coded to not despawn when you pick them up, and there's nothing to tell the pickups to stop spawning the particles.
Yeah, and that just overloads the game after a very short period of time.
Yeah, it is fixed in the next patch.
Yeah, we fixed it in Legacy as well, right?
Yeah, I fixed it in both.
Okay.
Yeah, then here there is a very elusive glitch where due to incorrect calculations for whether you're in the water or not, if you happen to be at like one specific height where the floor is X units below you and the water is Y units below you, which I don't know exactly what values those would be. But basically in that case, the game will just start swapping you between swimming and non-swimming on every single frame, which will soft lock you in this game, or in this build. In Rebuild, with the remade drowning system, you actually start to drown.
Mm-hmm. And of course, in Rebuilt, there's a little bit of extra time on top of running out of air, because once you run out of air, you start taking actual damage.
Yeah.
At the same rate as you're drowning.
Alright, here we go. Now we just fall down here. And some of you might who were here for LEGOthon 2019 might remember that I would later get stuck and at the horn puzzle not being able to do anything. Or rather, I would get lose a lot of time there, being like 5 minutes. Yeah, so there used to be this grapple point, then that grapple point got patched out after I found this, and then that grapple point got added back for data preservation. Thank you, Liam.
I do not deserve thanks for this. So one bug that this reminds me of that I'm glad you're not encountering right now, I still don't know the cause of it. There seems to be a bug where, depending on how long you've had your computer turned on for when you play the game, the water will animate at a lower frame rate.
I don't think I've ever had that happen, but I mostly turn off my computer like for the night, so... Yeah.
I've had that happen before, just when I've been working. Like,
Also,
if I have the game open in the background of the monitor.
Underwater maze.
Don't get lost.
Yeah, this is actually like, relatively easy. Though one thing that I want to point out here is jury's actually still out on what the fastest way to swim is in this game. I did think of just creating a passing framework and brute forcing every single combination to find the best one, but quickly gave up when I realized it would be like a few trillion combinations that would have to test.
Side note, are you using the DG Voodoo settings that come with the patch? Because I noticed that the reflections are all pixelized. They're not being filtered properly.
I have my own DG Voodoo settings.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
And you
I
don't
have used those like
how dare you?
I have used these DG Voodoo settings since the beta leaked, and pretty much the only thing I've changed there would be like the resolution. Use a genetic algorithm? Yeah, that's like that's definitely an idea. Also,
get ready for
I'm
get ready for Particle Overload City.
Yeah.
Wait,
exactly.
what just happened?
I restarted my game in order to lower my chances of the area crashing, but here you have lots of air bubbles and lots of enemies, and when the enemies die, they create lots of particles, and you have to kill all of them. So basically, if you do too many things at once, or if you just exist at the wrong place, or if the game just doesn't like you, it will just decide that it wants to kill itself.
Random question, since I know it is possible in the game at some points. Are there any glitches that you take advantage of where you would be like walking underwater?
No, actually I don't. Because
I feel like if that were possible in certain areas, it would definitely speed things up.
It would, but I guess you're going to definitely see another thing here. Here I am hoping to actually do a few things. So first I need tokens. So we might not get to see what I want to show. I believe you need 8 to get past this door in 1.4. Okay. Good. So we do have
God, I forgot how
tokens.
slow we made this just because of how disgusting this entire area is.
Yeah. Why are you forcing me to experience this for longer? Okay, so we are not getting the other skip, but
Rip.
apparently we are. Apparently we are. So this is a side effect of the sliding. Apparently, while one fade is happening in those 0.75 seconds, another fade cannot start. So we subvert the backtrack trigger, jump out of bounds, and go all the way to the ending walking. And you can see just how much faster this is.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
It's fixed because or thanks to
Because
Ash's
we,
respawn
like,
code.
completely nuked that area.
And also, even if it weren't, the respawn code took care of that. Now here we do essentially Tahu skip.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that area is still in this patch. We haven't removed it yet.
Right.
Can I
Wow,
please
this is some Ratchet and Clank bull chunk.
Can I please get this clip?
I'm having flashbacks to like that one glitch where you push yourself through the wall to go down to the hoverboard track and collect infinite bolts.
There we go. So Golly's swimming hitbox and Golly's swimming while shooting hitbox are for whatever reason drastically different. And you can use that to push yourself.
Andre
Shoots us
says
through the
this
wall.
game is beautiful and definitely not detrimental to Andrik's health. Not at all.
The Golly ambience
The
stopped.
janky Terrakava that don't have proper move lists. I know
Hey
you
there,
well.
Footloose. The gang's all here.
Yay.
This is a marathon environment, so I have to go for reskill. I swear if Reese isn't watching this right now.
In the next patch, those Terrakava are partially fixed, but only because I literally just stole the move list from another character and
we're not using that fix because it completely breaks one later in the game, so we're having to revert that for now.
I mean,
Also,
we can
let
always
this be the thing. If I get reskill on this run, I will route and run Voyanui online game.
Oh my god. No, but we can always
come on.
Terrakava.
You get it.
Make a different Terrakava.
Crash.
Rip.
I am saved.
No, we can always just make a different Terrakava for that area temporarily. It's not like something we haven't done that before.
That's true.
Right. Is Golly finding a sentient tube? No, 3 sentient tubes.
All hail the sentient tube.
Oh, fun fact: this boss has a completely unused morph model. Like if you recall how the mud monster spawns, where it like turns from a blob on the ground and just forms. Yeah, this boss was supposed to have that.
It has a bunch of Rahi spawns that are unused.
It should have.
And they're
These things
unused
should
because
spawn
the game will crash
hides.
if they're used.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Me neither. Alright, and now.
Oh yeah, we fix the target being offset.
No, that's due to. That's due to the bones. I looked into this recently. Those 3 targets are the way the game handles those is they're considered quote unquote masks.
Right.
Okay.
And
what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna jump.
Where the exact end of the bone is located.
Okay. Well, here we go. We have ourselves a Makoki stone. It's important that you are actually up on that higher surface because it spawns a Makoki stone at your at the height where you were at the end of the conversation. So sometimes it can actually soft lock you. Yep. Also, this is Pohatu's level. With Pohatu, it's actually slower to bunny hop because he then gets into this really long jump recovery animation, and that is much slower than just going at it normally. So you will see that if I do have to jump, I will actually let him land into a standing position.
I dare you to use the Huna when there are Matoran around and just play the game with a conga line of Matoran following you.
Unfortunately, they can't follow you through levels, so...
Yeah. So
I mean,
what
considering that
happens
you can
there? For
clip
some
through
reason,
with
there's a problem
them.
with the Huna. For some reason, there's a problem that the Huna resets the AI, and it makes even passive entities partially hostile.
And here we go. With by landing on the button, I subverted the loss of control that Ash tried to implement and interrupted the cutscene before it completed. So this door is starting to open, but there are no rocks spawning. And also, this door is made up of two parts that are like inside of each other. So I could jump into one, ledge grab on the bottom half into the top half, and then just easily move out of it.
Well, Ash, I guess you got another bug to fix.
Yeah, this was
I mean,
this was
I
the
think
first try. This is more like the first try. Well, I'm not really focusing too hard on this, but yeah, I know how to fix this
It doesn't
properly.
seem like it's that easy to pull off, anyways. So
yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't even cause a permanent softlock. Just move back and start again if you happen to trigger it accidentally. And it saves me from just, instead of having an auto-scroller where I have to focus, it's an auto-scroller where I don't have to focus.
right.
Don't worry, SNFL doesn't do this because move list. Like, Kopaka can't properly ledge grab on the lower half of a door.
Interesting.
Speedrunners make for great QA testers. I am actually a QA tester at Lightstone, so you are...
Yeah, that's why we brought you on.
Also, if you pause buffer for long enough, these rocks just disappear. I presume they go back to their starting positions, and I presume it's spline weirdness being spline weirdness again, but I don't know. Do these things use splines?
I'm gonna make.
Wasn't
I'm
this
gonna make a
area
comment
cut
about.
from? Wasn't this area cut from the beta?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a comment that so this area was actually cut in the vanilla game, well, in the vanilla beta, but we ended up adding it back in before we had started rebuild, but we had never taken it back out by the time this patch came.
Write that
So that
down
area is
for
going to be
later,
removed
then.
next time. Yeah, it's going to be removed in
Why
next.
is
It's
it
also the bull with the space.
flying? Excuse
We
me?
went to space.
I've never
This
seen
planet
it do
needs
that
him.
before.
Don't worry, his planet needs him.
Excuse me. I know it like turns into a fractal on your model, but I've never seen it go up before.
I kicked it.
All right then. That's a new one.
Also, this is the bull ride. This would crash in a lot of weird ways. Ash, take it away. You can talk about how much
this area, like this series of areas, was kind of notorious because in the game script there was a mountain of debug code. Like the developers knew about it and were trying to fix it, but then it turned out they had all of their debug code in the wrong place. So what happens is when you try, like when Pohatu is mounted to the bull, and you try to exit the very, very end of a bull area, the game then tries to remove Pohatu from the Kamera. What ends up happening is, because for some really strange reason, the game's AI wasn't fully loaded for the bull when Pohatu was mounted, the game explodes.
I know
So to fix that, and one of the other problems that contributed to it is they weren't properly cleaning the bull up between areas, so it was duplicating some in memory and it just was going to cause a crash.
Yeah. I know, because one of the crash reason was actually really misleading, because I thought that it tried to remove the bull, but since Pohatu was on the bull, it also removed him. And then the crash ended up going into a camera function because the camera just went haywire because it didn't know where Pohatu is.
Yeah, and
But I don't remember.
The reason why it couldn't.
Wait till you see what I've got planned for Liwa's level.
We can talk about that in Leewood's level.
Well, I mean, it's something that it's more of a rebuilt thing, so
Yeah, yeah.
But we can discuss it if we get to it.
Yeah. About to send to the Shadow Realm, I guess.
Kanira, you're going to the ranch dimension.
Yeah, eventually, thanks to Ash, this got fixed. I think this was even back when we didn't really have the OSI, because it's like a scripting file, and they kind of, you could say, created their own programming language for that. and then I compiled it. So at first we just had like these raw instructions and had to work with those.
It was
and
all
then,
just in assembly.
yeah, and then thanks to the incredible efforts of Benji and the JMMB, that got then turned into LSS or Lightstone script, which to me is a bit unfortunate because the extension for which we use for that is the same as the extension for live splits.
Oh.
Oh. I didn't think about. I didn't even think about that at the time.
No, why didn't I? Well, if that's the thing, why didn't you bring it up when it was still in development? We could have
Very
changed
sure
it.
I did, but I'm no. I think I did at least once, but it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Alright, so here we're just going to jump down. Here we finally got the Mask of Speed, which we are going to be using for a lot of things, obviously. Here we go, and there's another instant long jump that just allows us to immediately go to a perfect
Yeah, I
running
have a question
thing
for you. You've got so much height doing these jumps, but you aren't doing any pause buffering. You could have skipped like half of those platforms, couldn't you?
Likely, but this is easier. I don't need to focus as much.
I suppose.
Here I'm going to do Husi skip. I first thought this was a triple frame perfect trick. Turns out it's just a double frame perfect trick. 1, 2.
I remember when you found this too.
3, 4, 5.
Like this is one of those things where it's like, okay, this is so ridiculously difficult to pull off.
7.
We're just gonna leave it in.
Yeah. Basically, you have to like get into the state where you're walking while in the air, which I think is frame perfect, but I'm not sure. Then you have to land on exactly this like one specific series of triangles on the model, and usually you would just immediately start to slip off of them. But since you're in the state of walking,
wireframe mode available to you helped with that.
yeah, since you're in the state of walking in the air, then there is exactly one frame. You don't mean to tell me the game just froze on me. Okay, but basically, since you are in this state of walking in the air, and when you land on the triangle,
life at the bottom of this canyon is like, well, I guess Makuta won.
okay. To finish, since you're in the state of walking in the air, you get to actually have exactly one frame on which you get to jump. And then that jump gives you that tiny bit of extra height to clear the height, to actually get onto the lip of the thing, and then you can walk normally and jump up normally. So it's similar to like the one frame triple jumps in Battle for Bikini Bottom, if you have ever watched those runs.
I just noticed that the vertex coloring on that tablet is extra stinky. I'll have to double check that it's not like that in Rebuilt as well, though it should be.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it should all be fine. This is patch 1.4, so quite old. Also, more grapple glitch. And do we get incorrect? We do get the incorrect cleanup. Incorrect cleanup makes a mask available in this area.
Hi, Thordis. Say hi to Thordis.
I always thought that he looked like a really messed up duck.
This boss was also broken in the weirdest way. Basically,
It's still broken. What are you talking about?
So basically, it would just die when it would take damage for every frame that a projectile was inside of him. So I would literally just have a setup where it would just only go in there for 5 frames and kill him instantly.
Yeah, it's like a simpler version of Reese kill.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that's happening.
Presumably.
Yeah, and then the Stone Ring glyph could just kill him instantly too.
Yeah, and now basically the same thing as reskill is happening, where for whatever reason the grapple kind of stores its position inside of the boss. So it is technically always inside the weak point, so it just hits it first frame.
Huh.
Bam. But I cannot have that on the last hit, otherwise the boss will go to 0 health and just pretend that nothing has happened. Which will then crash the game when I try to kill him again, because it will go below 0 health. The game will try to remove a life counter sprite that doesn't exist, get a pointer to garbage data, and then throw a hissy fit when the kernel says, no, you cannot touch that, that is not your memory. This is a certified Pokoro moment, indeed. And we skipped the Makoki Stone pickup, which is also very good. We are off to Kopaka.
Nice.
No crash, cool.
Yeah. Also, that cutscene that I just skipped, that was entirely Ash's doing to add that into the game. Still back in OSI assembly.
Hell,
Yeah, that cutscene was complete. So the data was in the game. It just was complete. It just wasn't even scripted up at all. It had no code for it whatsoever.
well, the biggest thing was that it was a cutscene that plays back properly in the alpha if you enable it.
But the problem in the beta is that the cutscene had not yet been abridged like the other cutscenes had been. It wasn't finished yet, so they just disabled it.
Also, shoutouts
But
to
it was
this
still
wall jump.
there exactly as it was in the alpha. Problem is, the alpha had a different stage model, so things didn't quite line up.
Oh, also, tree stairs soon. Now.
God.
How could I
think we
forget?
fixed that at least.
Yeah, I think we did.
We nuked
Tree
the
stairs, my
collision on
beloved.
the leaves.
Yeah.
Right.
Goodbye, tree stairs, my beloved.
Yep. Okay, now here, I don't need to actually reset this, I can just die.
I guess I'll just die.
Yep, and we have full energy. This is like the one big non-linear part of the game. This is like, if you're looking to like run this game and potentially optimize some things, this is the place to go. You have a lot of exits, a lot of entrances, and jury's technically still out on what is the truly fastest way to go through this, while still collecting the 60 tokens necessary to get through the door, which might not be fully necessary depending on some rulings that might or might not be in place. Right, so now I am going to reset the game again, because there are no easily accessible energy pickups, so it's easier to just reload. There we go. We first grab these. Okay. Alright. I unfortunately kept the mask on.
You're like freaking Shadow the Hedgehog. Just play Radical Highway in the background. That's all the music we need for this level.
I can never get over how sassy way Kopaka skates, as Milk Blade says. Right. And now we are going to set up for a really neat trick. I am happy to show this to you. So you see that Kopaka is walking. This is not intended behavior. So this is a setup for a trick I called SSD, or slide spawning displacement, which I previously called wrong warps, but that is technically wrong, so hence this. So for whatever reason, whatever happens, what happens is that when you go into a new area, and the one that happened before and the one that was before ends in a sliding state, then the movement keys that you pressed will translate to movement on the next area.
Amazing.
Yeah. And this is used intentionally only here in this level, because in others there first of all aren't really many places to abuse it outside of challenge runs, or Golly specifically. And otherwise, even if there were, I would have to find like good setups.
Mm-hmm.
Which, for Tahu, that doesn't work because the cutscene plays immediately, which would reset your spawn point, by the way.
I always like this area. That visually, it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, it is. I do hope
Yeah,
that I have enough tokens. I should. Okay, resetting to set up another
Here we
SSD.
go again.
Yep. And this time it's even funnier. Enjoy moonwalking Kopaka.
You showed me that one before. I wasn't sure what was happening there.
So basically, that is the way to bypass Ash's new respawn code. You just load the area, and while it's loading, you buffer the inputs, and it just works.
When we get to this point in Rebuild, we really need to fix the stupid ice walls that just shatter into like nanosaur triangles.
Yeah. Right. This one
And
was
triangles
this is
that
actually
use
the
the
place
wrong
where I
texture, I might add.
this is actually the place where I found SSD, where first I saw the moonwalking Kopaka and I thought, hey, that's funny. But I saw that he respawned like insanely far out of bounds, so then I actually measured how far he was, plotted it in Desmos, and did vector algebra to find out how to actually do a setup for this. Also, flying.
Oh, you Silver the Hedgehog it.
This is functionally identical to the bloated bomb glitch, where the box has a hitbox, and it's constantly intersecting with you, so you try to push it away, and yeet.
Or it's like that other bug in Sonic 06 where you like do a slide kick on top of a box and it just goes upwards infinitely.
The only thing that is not here, unlike Mario 64, we cannot clone the box. Which would be awesome, but I'm fairly sure...
Can you imagine getting object storage in this game?
Yeah.
I have looked at the way the code works. I don't think it's gonna happen. Unfortunately.
The way it handles objects like that, it would be incredibly unstable if you did manage to pull the object through the cleanup somehow.
And here is another SSD. This one was completely unintentional, but if you use the debug menu to actually see your angle, and you do exactly 25 jumps at like an angle of 75 degrees while holding S, you do get to spawn outside of
standing on one hand, while standing on one foot, tapping the top of your head.
Then you do get to spawn close to the token door, and then you get to skip the token door. So if the debug menu is allowed in the game and runs, if it is allowed in runs, then the run could become like 5 minutes faster.
Jesus.
The first of every month.
Yeah, this area, like the snowballs used to be completely broken to the point where they would just pass right through the bridge.
Yeah, didn't you just copy the code from Rockfall?
Yeah, with a few tweaks.
Yeah.
So I just lifted it from
another auto-scroller where I've brought up the topic of making this no longer an auto-scroller, and I don't know exactly how that went, but
I mean, honestly, both of these areas are just kind of stupid ideas. Like, yes, let's have the player wait and break barrels, or boulders rather, before they are allowed to proceed, and literally nothing else.
Okay, and here we go. It is actually faster to die while picking up the glyph because you respawn closer, but unfortunately the collection animation resets to its beginning. But from here, you actually get a much better angle, so you can just do the Kakama jump like this, and obviously pause buffer it.
See, that's what I mean, like, you should have been doing that in Pohatu's level, because you could have crossed that entire area in, like, 2 jumps.
I guess. Then here, because
especially
we didn't have
if
enough
you're
tokens.
still able, I forget how much you can do it, but oh man, if you do a run of the alpha, and you take advantage of Kakama Miru chaining plus pause buffering,
I did that in LE01, from like the very top where the end trigger is. I went so far out of bounds, I passed through the skybox.
Oh my god.
When the alpha gets proper patches to actually like be completable without usage of the debug menu, I will run that because it has honestly so many interesting movement opportunities, and it's just squandered by the fact that you cannot actually complete it without technically cheating.
I swear it was completable without the debug menu now.
Not quite. They're
Yeah,
like
the patch also still needs to be released too.
Fair.
Yeah, like I've been
thought,
working
like, the
on trying
previous
to.
patch did that.
It didn't quite do. It didn't quite, mainly because some of the bosses you couldn't actually transition between.
Right.
Level transitions are still kind of broken.
Right. So, welcome to the boss area. We have Ice Boy soon, DM. He can troll you kind of hard, where if you shoot his weak point at like the worst time, the weak point will disappear, but he will not actually take damage. It's like, psych? No, you have to do another cycle.
Yeah, I've seen that.
T-pose man, yes, this is T-pose man. Where you damage him and he just snaps to T-pose rotating.
Oh, baka.
Bang!
Asserting
No transitions, no nothing.
You.
Snowy
Do you want to talk about that? There are a bunch of
Asserting
unused
dominance.
voice lines for this boss in the code that are just like, it was just somebody at Sapphire having a giggle and just being like, Kopaka, I'm going to kill you.
I'm Snowman and I like to spin.
I don't have like
cannot forget
mini
the classic.
modulator, otherwise I would totally do that.
I'm melting.
I'm melting.
And there's the Macaque Stone once more.
Looks like something from Food Fight. You make that joke, but it's like not really common knowledge, but The Legend Reborn was made by the same studio that made Food Fight.
Oh yeah, Liwa's level is now, with him, he also has like the same jump recovery animation thing as Pohatu. It's not nearly as bad, but I've actually done the math and found that it wastes a few frames every time if you try to bunny hop.
And these trees are just awful.
Yeah, I've actually found a new ledge grab glitch in this area. If you ledge grab and then go from ledge grab ending to airborne in like 1 frame, you get to conserve the speed that you had before the ledge grab.
Huh.
It's weird,
Oh
and I
boy.
don't think...
You know, y'all know what time it is now.
It's time for vines. If I die here, I'm just bypassing this section, because it is possible to do. I guess we are bypassing this section, so we need to just wedge ourselves into this corner, ILJ, and bam.
Goodbye, vines. Oh god, there's more.
This is the
It's like, but
only
wait, there's more.
mandatory use of vines. Why did Milkblade get warned, I swear? This is basically BTG, right? Yeah, if all the vines are copies of Funny Rope, yes.
Excuse me?
That's a joke that Milkblade will get.
I will have to take your word for it then.
Okay, here we go. Just resetting energy. Oh yeah, this is the one level where you can skip both token doors, and the token door skip for the shrine is so easy. I begged for it to be removed because I was just like, yeah, this is not fun.
But wait, there's more.
Nope. And now we can just walk on top of out of bounds. Or like on top of the level, and we missed the level transition. With this boss, you're supposed to use a Mask of Illusions, but we can just speed past it. We don't even have to speed past it, because you can take it quite the beating.
Joint Dog says there's an interview out there where the studio head goes, yeah, we're making a movie for Bionicle, that's cool, I guess, but what we're really excited for is our original project, Food Fight. You need
Also,
to send me that interview later. I need to see that.
Also, this is just a series of 2 cutscenes where on one, Liwa mounts on an Uirama and uses the Mask of Mind Control, and the other he dismounts. So we are speculating that it was maybe intended to have a Rama riding segment similar to the Bull Ride segment. rebuilt.
Which is something I have already prototyped
Yeah.
for rebuilt, and you can actually find it on the Lightstone Twitter somewhere. Let's see if I can. I'll see if I can dig it up. If I can find it, I'll put it in chat.
Alright. Also, just casually glossing over the fact that there's a massively misplaced trigger down there, which allowed me to just skip everything. All the trials.
Amazing.
And now we are on to the worst boss of this game, Dave.
Oh god.
He used to be an absolute nightmare because, of course, this game was made in 2001 for 2001 PCs that were running 30 FPS. At 60, he was almost impossible to beat, so much so that I actually ran with a frame limiter for the longest time. And,
Yeah, that's I recently found out that they finally cracked the DRM in Pac-Man World 2 for PC, and that game suffers a surprising amount of similar issues to this game, including this specific problem.
Right. And eventually I worked out a few strategies to actually be able to go through them reliably. These poles here, they are the closest thing to a safe spot you can get, so I go for the middle pool immediately. So that now I can simply hide behind this other pole and just go through this. Otherwise, another strat that I developed is to try and jump, instead of jumping directly against him, jump tangentially to where he is pulling me. And that, oh god. I would have screamed if I had died here. But
I am having a lot of trouble finding this stupid Nui-Rama thing for some
And
reason. I
this-
found the Facebook post, but who uses Facebook?
yeah. And now Dave is finally no longer. There we go. On to Taho's level.
Nice.
This cutscene is actually in its abridged form. Both is actually not available in its unabridged form, unfortunately. The one that I just skipped.
Yeah, like all of the text for it is present in the alpha, but the actual cutscene itself is not present, unfortunately.
And now we move on to Takoro, the only village which is actually saved by default here in this patch. So what we're doing here is we're just gonna collect all the tokens.
Well, I'm not
So-
sure why I can't find the Twitter video, so here's the stupid Facebook video of the Nui-Rama implementation.
Apparently, you cannot post links.
Oh, well then. It hasn't told me that I can't. I posted it in there.
Huh. For me, it just looks like 3 asterisks. No idea.
Well, that's a shame.
Right.
I guess just look up Lightstone Nui-Rama, it'll show up.
Yeah. And here we go. We now have the grappling hook for Taho's level. This token run is actually like really dumb in my opinion. You need 8 to get past the door. Technically, there's like 50 ways to bypass it. I know I found one, shared it with you, and you immediately made invisible walls, and then I found ways to bypass that invisible wall. I think. Hold on. I'm gonna restart here to reset my energy once more. Okay, I need to close out of this unhandled exception dialog. Good.
Suggestion to break the link so Nightbot doesn't recognize it. If I'm given the okay to do that, I guess I can.
So basically that invisible wall, you can also kind of jump on it. But now we go to walls that you can jump on. These might be floors actually, I don't know. But basically you can kind of jump on this and bypass the entire puzzle.
Why don't we simply kill the Nightbot?
Do you guys mind if I come in with a quick donation here?
Sure.
A pretty big donation. We got $212 from Footloose. And it
well
says,
then.
"Hey, it's Footloose, the community lead for Bionicle speedruns. I'm happy to donate on behalf of the scene and hyped to see how far the Legend of Matanui has come. Good luck and good skill on the run. And by the way, your Legend of Matanui bias is showing. That's the biggest donation in the marathon. Thank you for the donation, Footloose.
Hell
Going towards a
yeah.
great cause.
Thanks, Footloose.
Thank you, Footloose, and Loman
Yeah,
on top.
thank you. Somebody's getting their extra life loot from donations and stuff. The thing doesn't Extra Life like give out certain things when you make big donations?
I'll have to check and see.
Yeah, I know they do it for streamers. Like I have a little light box on my door.
We've been getting achievements on our Extra Life page. I do know that.
We have now
Nice.
entered this area, and here, this area weirdly triggers something that I like to call Miru Nuba glitch, because it makes the Miru much more powerful. So at this point, it is absolutely imperative that the game not crash until basically the end.
Watch it crash.
That's what I'm afraid of,
Well,
and especially with this...
I know why the mirror gets stronger here. That
Yeah.
it has code present in the script to effectively boost it.
Yeah. I think that
But
should
it
be the
never gets
default,
reset
honestly.
properly.
It feels so much better to use. And here we go. We have picked up the how. Now we just have to slowly go into these vents and pick out
Did we
everything.
fix the Did we fix the transparency on these things?
I have no idea. Just
Because that's something we should
We have
probably
not,
look
to my
into later
knowledge.
if we haven't yet.
okay. I really dislike this bat right here. If it could
Well, that's
stop.
a shame because he really seems to like you.
Yeah.
He just wants to be your friend, Andric. Come on, don't be mean.
He just wants a hug.
Yeah. Many a run died to bat. I will say that. Okay.
I love how when you're pause buffering with the Miru, you even seem to get like a slight increase in height.
I think that's purely visual. Also, shoutouts to this area, which is literally
What
too
is
hot
that
for
about?
Tahu, the Toa of Fire. Let's just grapple over here and get this over with.
We gotta do something with this area, because, like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. But, like, otherwise,
I don't know. I don't really see an issue with it. Especially considering it's the only area so far that the how is actually useful in.
TA07,
That's fair.
you have one more. To be fair. Right.
If anything, I think the how should be made to block projectiles as well.
I mean, when I do implement that Super Mario 64 library, I'm absolutely turning the how, just making the how activate the metal cap. It's too hot for Tau, but not for whoever built these grapple points. Yeah, in that patch they're still gray and not red, like Tahu's grapple points are meant to be, apparently.
Huh.
I mean, I don't know. The ones in T-ville are. Or is it F-ville? I don't remember which one goes first.
Evville.
I'm surprised anyone is capable of remembering any of the area names in level 6. They're all just a cluster.
I do remember most of them.
Evville
but-
comes first.
Right. Also here, if we activate the Akaku while we are falling, we get to not go through a massive animation of cutting up the thing.
Huh.
So, fun thing about this area, these arrow markers, if you die, these do not respawn.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
no.
this was the
I did
bane
find a
of
way to
my...
fix this.
Yeah. I know this was the bane of my existence until I found this route, and I have stuck to it for literally 4 years by now.
God, it has been that long now, huh?
Yeah. Here we go. This is the other time that we use the how.
Does it
Other-
actually block those?
Yeah, it does. Thankfully.
Huh. Yor did it.
Yep.
But yeah, as of the next patch, if you die in this area, the areas will respawn.
Thankfully.
Very nice. Oh god, this area.
Yeah. This is one of the free areas where Mirunuva glitch helps. Because we just get to bypass all of this. It is possible without it. Insanely much more difficult. Also, this is why you
Yeah,
will
because
get
otherwise
double
you'd just
music.
kind of be waiting for the platforms to spawn in this area.
Yeah. I don't think I need that token, but just for safety.
You know what I just realized is absolutely hilarious to think about?
Yeah.
Just from, like, granted you've restarted a lot of time, but just in general, the game seems to be more stable when you're speedrunning it than when you're actually playing it thoroughly.
Also, I have to do this animation in honor of Reese.
Oh, the best one.
The greatest showman on Matanui.
Matanui. This is the only clip that we have of Bionicle 2021, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh my god.
Obligatory rest in peace to Bionathon.
We also still have the original clip where this was first, like, really showing off on the 1 year anniversary stream on the
Yep.
Beaver House.
Also, Bam, the Miru has a kind of hidden mechanic where it stops your sliding speed. And I do remember, back when the area in Gali's level, WTHK, back when that was still an absolute nightmare, the idea was floated around to extend this functionality to all masks during sliding, so that it wouldn't be so unbearable.
Well, it's not okay. So I don't think it's an intentional mechanic. It's a byproduct of what they've done between alpha and beta to try and nerf the Miru by making it cancel your horizontal momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
They just didn't do it very good.
Indeed, Bionicle 2021 is Footloose's biggest L.
Oof.
Yeah. They hadn't made a new Twitch channel in like years. Forgot to turn on bot saving.
Oh no.
Hey.
I was there. Never forget.
Never forget.
Never forgetting you rest in spaghetti.
So here, this is again the second to last area where Mirunuva glitch is useful. Here we go. We just get to skip all of that platforming, which is insanely annoying with these stalactites. And
Shoutouts to Red Vahi.
Yep, and shoutouts to the fact that we literally will not use it in this run. If this was rebuilt, we would use it once. Vivahi also, I guess I can showcase it. Vivahi gives you control to slow down time, but if you pause, you can speed up time. So it really gives you full control over the flow of time. So in rebuild, when it's where masks in boss fights are actually the default and not just the result of bugs, I use Vivahi to speed up the dragon fight at the end of this level.
I'm surprised that still functions, because, you know, the whole problem that we had with the hitboxes there before.
Well, all it does is it just uses the weird fake delta time or whatever the function is called. I don't remember.
Right.
Okay, now here I have to do some really weird esoteric things with pausing, which this is really more of a feeling thing where apparently if you pause like at weird moments, the game or the platforms will reset or not. And now here we can finally get rid of Mirunuva glitch, finally reload, just in time for this area, which is a ticking time bomb. For some weird reason, it just freezes.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, like the
What the hell is going on with the lava?
Yeah, this is a problem I
think
have
I
with my
might. I
rogue
think I might
area.
be. I think we might be able to chalk that up to that compression bug that we recently figured out.
I mean, that's decompression.
I've never
but
seen it
yeah.
do it here before.
Yeah, that's probably the compression. The compression bug.
Write that one down, I guess.
Yeah. And now we move on to the boss, which is also interesting in its own way. So basically, between the alpha and the beta, the developers decided to move all the bosses from the OSI script code into native code. And I was looking for like ways to make this boss faster because I wanted to see if it's like controlled by randomness. Found out it's actually completely deterministic. So I looked through all the code, found out exactly which spikes he's under at what times, under what conditions. This is spike number 5, by the way. Tom the Dragon. Yep. And found that. And found the optimal route. And it still isn't fast enough to beat him before the music loops.
God damn it.
By the way, there were references in this, I believe, in the alpha script, and I think maybe in the native code. I'm not sure if they kept these, but there were references that referred to this as Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah. Oh, we can't forget the Nui Rama that used to be in this level that all had
Mike,
names.
Bill, and Earl. I'm 100% sure it's just a cut of the Tom scream. I mean, we cannot confirm that because we do not want to get sued. I guess.
Yeah, I could also say what the references to the new Rama in Lewa's level is, but I would rather not repeat it on stream. That gives you an idea.
Yeah.
I have 2 donations if you have the time.
Yes.
Ooh.
We have a $50 donation from Gudulu. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And it says, "Play for fun." Thank you very much for the $50 donation.
Yeah,
And the second donation is a $75 anonymous donation that says, "I would like to see the fast DV1 and DV2 skip in the TCS speedrun. Go we Super and Senor." And with that, the runners must do fast DV1 and DV2 skip in Cloud City Trap incentive for the complete saga run on Sunday has been met with that donation. So thank you for the 2 donations.
Those were words that went into my ears.
Yeah.
Those were words.
I am not familiar with speedrun lingo. I apologize.
No worries, but yeah, thank you guys for the donations, and I believe we are over $500 now raised.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
Shoutouts to my
There
dad.
you go. Whoa, what?
What even?
Little,
I haven't seen that before.
A little baby boy.
Also,
I
this
haven't
is
seen that before.
your
Oh,
obligatory
no.
cannon score. Every single one of these is
Oh God, it is Cannon's core.
At the end, of
Why
the
did it
ending cutscene,
take
there would
me
be
4
more.
years to make that connection? Oh God.
There we go.
Yeah, so the fog I'm going to try to fix for the next patch.
And now I'm going to do one trick. This is entirely for the show. It does not save any time compared to like not doing this or doing like the mild version of it, I guess. This so damn it.
What? What just happened?
So what I tried to show is usually in this I showcase platform velocity and how platform velocity allows you to move like ludicrously quickly. What I tried to show here was pause buffered platform velocity, which allows you to move like twice as fast. And I jumped at the same time as I paused, which set my X and Z coordinates to not a number.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's a known issue that we're going to be looking into at some point.
Yeah.
Before we fixed like a lot of the issues with swimming, you could do that just by using the grapple as galley in water.
Yeah,
was
You would
the
just
so
get
Sapphire
shot off to
fix.
Nan, and that was it.
It was not to Nan, it's just to some specific value. It's like, I think it takes your velocity vector when you jump into the water, and then normalizes that, and then sends you 10,000 units that way.
I see.
I have
Yeah,
tried doing it in Gakoro under specific circumstances, and I managed to actually activate a trigger while doing so.
Oh my god.
Potential for speedrunning skip does exist. It just has to be found and harnessed.
It has to be like there's probably some ridiculous setup to it.
Yeah.
Like you have to know exactly what direction where you want to go is before you enter the water or something like that.
And unfortunately, I'm afraid it might be floating point precise. If it is, then that would be TAS only.
Right.
Oh, also the function to add health and energy is bugged, and instead of adding 1 per Toa, it adds 1 per Toa plus the amount before it.
This is fixed in the next patch.
Yes.
Right.
It
I
doesn't
did fix
really
this.
do much of anything except that if I had played through this entire thing, the entire level without having to close out of the game, I would the health and energy would actually start to clip into the timer at Tahu's part. Speaking of, we are coming up on time soon. Here we go. Oh, it is clipping. Here we go. Time is when I enter that trigger over there, and if we have more, then I guess I can do time.
Very nice.
And I guess I could showcase some glitches that I didn't have the time to show, if the stream would allow that, because I'm way below my estimate. But I will wait for approval on that. My in-game timer says 58
Yeah, we can do
minutes.
like a quick
59.
little 5-minute glitch showcase.
All right, that sounds good. So I guess I will show off platform velocity, and I will show off GLY free without jumping, which an area I completely skipped. So we move here to PH2. So I forgot that I actually have to like. Yeah. Okay. This. Can you direct me to the nearest place where set nearest max at some really high value?
Psst. Load up rebuilt and speedrun is Voriki only.
Okay. If this
Load
does
up.
not work,
Yeah,
okay.
you can load up. I think it TAO2 or I think TAO2 or TAO3 triggers it.
Right.
As in the set nearest max is really high there.
I can trigger it. I can trigger it 1000% reliably on a different version. So I'm switching versions here. This is Legacy version 1.2.
Oh boy, we're really going back.
Oh yeah, the thing was not frame rate adjusted. And yeah, here we go. Here this is here
Oh, the sound is back. Oh god.
Up in the
Yeah.
HUD.
I'm sorry. This is what I wanted
There
to do.
you go.
Just faster. 12 seconds.
Huh.
Or no, 18 seconds. I cannot count. And now what I'm also gonna do here is I'm going to show off another tiny little glitch showcase. So this is an area that I completely skipped, but I really like the way that this works. So I'm just gonna show it here.
Ah, this level, the level
Yeah.
that was completely cut in Rebuilt and turned
Yep.
into an Onua level.
Yeah. In Onua, there are
Yeah.
a bunch of walls added, but here you can just do this, and then you can literally just fall off of this to the left side, flip through this, bam.
And that's
And,
why
this-
the walls were added.
Yeah. I mean, you did say that this was allowed to stay because it reminded you of Peach's Secret Slide in Mario 64. But yeah, that is how easily that level can be cheesed. And otherwise, I think I did show off all the glitches that I wanted. I mean, I would have loved to showcase reskill, but otherwise I got Husi skip, I got the slide spotting displacement,
You
yeah.
should totally actually load up Voriki just for the hell of it.
You know what?
Because if I remember correctly, he has a mask that is a combination of all of the masks.
Alright, I'm loading up the newest build from GitHub.
Yeah, he'll be stable there at least.
Yeah. Do I go into which area do you want me to go to?
Anywhere you want. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I just thought it would be funny to see what you can pull off with him.
Did I disable him on our build though?
I don't
Not
think he is disabled. I'm gonna go
this
here because
version
this
hasn't released yet. This is the current working version.
Here we go. We have Ricky and bam.
There's the boy.
I apologize to anyone with photosensitive epilepsy.
Yeah, now we're really cooking with gas, boys.
We're feeling it now.
This is a little bit of a sneak preview of some content that we are
don't even
working
know
on.
when he's going to be implemented.
And now
because
we
obviously
are out of
this whole
bounds.
mask
This
thing
is
was
how
just
easy
like,
you can get out of bounds with Ricky. I am
the
going to
whole
love
functionality of the
speedrunning.
mask is just like, well, what if I just enabled all of the masks with a single button and see what it does?
Oh, and
This is
funny
how-
thing, the Mask of Translation used to have a bug where it would flip the invasion condition, and this was accidentally copied over into this one, not noticed, and then we said like, you know what, let's keep it. So that's why the village is immediately saved.
Wait, does that mean, since he's got the Huna powers, does that mean the Matoran are gonna go nuts now?
Which one of these are non-static? This one. I apologize to people with photosensitive epilepsy.
He's doing it.
He's not following you. He's just.
He
Oh,
got
God, he
he's trying to
jumped.
attack you. He tried to jump you.
I've never seen someone play as a seizure before. Yeah, I unhandled exception at 410C7E.
Okay then, well, that didn't last very long.
I will run that address through IDA once we're done here, but I think we are adequately done here with that crash. The game told us when to
Yeah,
stop.